Hello and welcome to another video here on my YouTube channel, Volvo Christian. And also welcome to another wagon video. Oh yes, it is of course the V60. Here in Pebble Grey T6 all-wheel drive R-Design. This is a Modular 21 that I'm lending for my dealer Frydenbø Bilcenter, and I'm actually here now to deliver it back to them. But today's topic, and the main reason why I'm making this video, are to explain why I can't order a Modular 22 of the V60. In order to do that, we do have to take a step back to the Modular 20, that I think was the best Modular for the V60 and also the other models in Volvo's lineup. Because from Modular 21, Volvo started to with their cost-saving strategy and starting removing small items on the cars. Nothing major, one might say, but small things, practical things, or visual things, and we're gonna look at some of them now. And individually, it's nothing big, except one thing. But the small things builds up, and for me, some of these takes away some of the exclusivity. So we can start with the exterior. This is, as you see, our R-Design, with the unique R-Design rear bumper and the front bumper, the black window frames, roof rails, the unique grille. So R-Design. But if you are familiar with the Modular 20, then you can see here that something is missing. Before, we had a little badge here with R-Design or inscription, and then we had the twin engine badge. Now we got the T6 all-wheel drive Recharge. And actually it doesn't say anywhere on the car that this is R-Design. Now it's the T6 Recharge. So Volvo can use the same badge on the R-Design and the inscription. Probably they save a couple of pennies per car, but it was better with the little R-Design badge. And it is the same thing when we step into the interior. We are welcomed by a little metal plate here, little protection plate on the sill. Here it says Recharge. On the Modular 20 it said either R-Design or inscription. But now, same badge, or same plate for both, and they have taken away some of the unique R-Design touches. We can also see that on the steering wheel. Before, we had a little badge here saying R-Design. But for the Modular 21, that got removed. So now there's nothing left. The three major things, steering wheel, this metal plate, and a little badge on the rear, all gone. So that's it's not a huge difference, but the small things are often the biggest things or something. So that's some of the things I don't like with these cost savings. If we look at the main reason why I'm not amazed by the Modular 22, we have to take a little step inside. And that's found here in the center console. If the camera will focus with my shaky hand, the drive mode wheel. I have gotten to I love this wheel. I have had it in the XC90, the XC60 and the S90, and I'm very familiar with this. One tap, scroll the numbers of clicks you want to go, and this is done by muscle memory for me. So I can keep my eyes on the road and just click, scroll, and then I have the different drive modes. But in the Modular 22, Volvo have decided to just remove this completely. It just blanked out and the wheels are gone. And that would be okay if they had a better solution. But the solution they have done is just putting it into the screen. You have to slide down and go into the settings and car settings to change the drive modes if you have a plug-in hybrid. Like we saw on the V90 cross-country press car I had, and I made a video about this on YouTube. All the drive modes are gone except the off-road mode, but that's also adjusted via the screen. I think this is a step back in traffic safety, because now I have to take my eyes off the road and to look at the screen. I can't understand why they would remove something that worked and over to the screen. I would gladly pay extra to get this wheel in a Modular 22. It looks amazing with this line, especially if you have an inscription with the Örefors crystal shifter. But these, just look at the finish on these. If the camera will focus yet again. I just love this, the texture and feel of this. Same with the start button and also the volume knob. If you can hear this. Very nice tactical feeling, and it looks amazing. But the function also, I can't understand why they want to remove that. And that's the main reason why I'm not amazed by the Modular 22. But there's also another thing that is quite annoying on the Modular 22, but that's not Volvo's fault. You see this marker here in the mirror? Well, that's the blind spot monitoring system. And because of shortage of semiconductors, you can see this now. Because of the shortage, Volvo can't deliver the BLIS, the blind spot monitoring system, for the Modular 22 of V60 and the XC60 and the XC40 electric. They can't get the BLIS function for Modular 22. But that's not Volvo's fault. But if I want to order a Modular 22 V60, I want this. I want the BLIS. So I wish Volvo could rather remove something else than a safety option, since they can't get enough of the semiconductors. Or make a solution that you can retrofit this after a while when they got enough of the semiconductors. So if I want this, I have to wait and wait, because the order will be just postponed and postponed. And these are not confirmed, but my guess is that if you want to wait for the BLIS function in a Modular 22, it will most likely be pushed over to a Modular 23. And then I think you will get the facelift and also the Android infotainment. And as you may know, if you have seen my V60 and V90 cross-country video, I'm not amazed by the Android infotainment. It's fairly okay in the electric XC40. That's a totally different price for that car, and it's electric, and maybe the tolerance for software and bad infotainment are higher. But I don't think the Android infotainment are worthy enough now to go into the 60 and 90 series cars. These are expensive premium cars, and I think the Android system now are not worthy or ready. It needs more development, more software updates before they put it here, but that's my opinion. And I had a bad experience with the V90 cross country. But with time, of course, the Android system will be very good and better than this sensors. But for now, I don't think the Android is an improvement. And not to mention the removal of, you see here, I can fairly easy, just one push, shift between speed limiter, adaptive cruise, and cruise with pilot assist. Just with these buttons. For the Model Year 22, they have decided to remove this function and move it over to the touchscreen. Again, one step back in traffic safety. So these are the main reasons why I can't order a Model Year 22. I want the drive modes, I want the bliss, and I'm not keen at the moment for the Android, and if the order would be pushed to a Model Year 23. And also the small things that Volvo have decided to remove along the way. Like, I didn't mention this, but the ticket holder, it was here on the Model Year 20, then removed for the 21, and it's now back again for the Model Year 22. Cost savings, and probably they got a fair amount of complaints, so they took it back for the Model Year 22. And I can show one more thing before we step outside. On the Model Year 20, it used to be a storage net here, but that's gone for the Model Year 21. So cost savings for the win. And the key are just getting cheaper and cheaper. Plastic, fantastic. So cost savings, and that's some of the reasons why I think the Model Year 20 was the best model year. So that's why I'm searching for a second-hand Volvo, primarily Model Year 20, to get also before these items got removed. But the Model Year 21, as this one is, could also be good. Yes, I would lose a couple of things, but I still got the bliss, I still got the drive modes, and as a sweet bonus, if I can find it, I could get the 4C chassis. And this one, exact car here, has the 4C chassis. The regular plug-in hybrids of the V60 have the dynamic chassis. And for the non-hybrid, you have the touring chassis and the sports chassis. But for early Model Year 21, you could get the 4C chassis. Sadly, it got discontinued shortly after, so it's just a few cars with this chassis. And it makes a huge difference on the riding comfort and character of the car. It's almost like you have a Polestar engineered car, but without the hassle of the manually adjustable suspension. If you are familiar with the Polestar engineered, you have to lift up the rear in order to get access under here and back here on the scroll wheel to loosen or tighten up the suspension. In the front, you just have to pop the hood. But it's quite a hassle to do that, especially if you are on a little road trip and you have set it for comfort, but then you want to tighten it up for active driving over a mountain pass. You want to go in track mode. I don't think someone will be bothered to lift up the car to do so. I have tested the Polestar engineered in both the comfort mode with 12 in the front and 15 in the back, and also the track mode. And I have driven from Oslo to Bergen in track mode with the Polestar engineered. Such a blast, totally awesome experience, hammering through twisty corners, a real precision tool. But when I came to Bergen, over the shitty roads and bumpy cobblestones, it was torture in track mode. I just had to drive home, lift up the car and get it back in comfort. And then it's much better. But you don't have the opportunity to flex between on the Polestar engineered so easy as this one. You have to do it manually, and I don't think that's good enough for me in a V60. It's not a track car, so manually adjustment in such expensive car, I don't know, not for me. However, in this one, with the 4C, and just one tap on the drive mode wheel, when you're driving in hybrid, it's soft, it's forgiving, it takes away much of the uneven surfaces and gives you a relaxed and pleasant ride. But in higher speeds, you feel the bumps, of course, and the imperfections. At least when you have 20-inch. I would probably go for the 19-inch, and that's also from the factory a maximum for the plug-in hybrids. But these 20-inch from Inscription are fitted after delivery. But when you shift the drive mode to power in this one, everything sharpens up. The suspension gets significantly harder. It's so hard that it reminds me of the V60 Polestar in track mode. It's torture to drive in power mode over cobblestones in Bergen Centrum. It's so hard, and you feel every little bump and cobblestone. Just torture. But on a twisty road up a mountain pass, it's really fun. But cobblestones, no. But you have the power here to flex it just by one tap. And the bandwidth of the 4C from the comfort to the power mode here are just awesome. And that's probably very similar to the bandwidth of the Polestar engineered. But there you can go even harder. That's rock hard. The power mode here are somewhere between the comfort setting in Polestar engineered and the track setting in Polestar engineered. Somewhere in between there we find the power mode here. Very hard, but you can also just by one tap get the comfort and smoothness again. And then you can use it actively. You can drive on road trip. Do you want comfort? You keep it in comfort. Do you find a twisty road, you want to hammer it through, you flex over to power. I really love the 4C chassis. When I tested the press car from Volvo Norway, Modular 21, I asked them in advance if they had the 4C as an option on the press car. Sadly, they didn't. And I am totally sure that if the press car had the 4C and I would experience how amazing this is, I would totally order that. But I haven't tested the 4C until now. And now I know that the 4C are just awesome. Then you can utilize the bandwidth without the hassle of lifting up the car like the Polestar engineered. So now I know what I want. I have to search for a Modular 21 with the correct spec. I love this spec actually. This is pebble gray R design. I would probably add the styling kit with the extra side skirts and cladding and splitters in the front for the more aggressive and sporty approach. This is a sporty wagon, but with that extra little styling kit, it gets even more sporty. And I have also seen some crazy spoiler lips from Just Deform that will make it totally wicked. Add a roof box and some extra lights, and wow. Not to mention a crazy ass wrap. And there we have my dream V60. So that's probably it. I have to say goodbye to the V60. and in a few days I will actually pick up the car I have purchased. It's actually not a wagon, because I didn't find a wagon for me right now, but it's a pretty cool car either way, and I will keep that until I find a wagon with my spec, and preferably also the 4C chassis. So I have to look at a Modular 21, and that's the plan for now. Pick up the car next week and keep that until I find my wagon. So I have to wrap it up. I see the time here is flying, so the video are getting pretty long with me rambling about, but I totally recommend you to test the V60. And if you get the chance to test the one with the 4C, I would love to hear what you think about this, because I am super amazed by the 4C. I love the V60 to begin with, but now with the 4C, oh, this is just awesome. Relaxed comfort, smoothness, but also very sporty when you want. What more can you ask for? This is the wagon for me, but I have to wrap it up. Thanks for watching, and also thanks for your tolerance for my English imperfections. I am learning by doing, so the more I talk, the better I will hopefully be. But thanks for your feedback and your positive comments on my videos. That is really appreciated. So take care everyone, and we'll talk soon. Just send me a DM on Instagram if you got some questions, or comment under the video here. So take care, bye bye for now.